Of the 6 candidates running for North Idaho College trustee, Greg McKenzie is the only incumbent. This rant is all about him. More than any other individual, yes, even more than Todd Banducci, Greg McKenzie is directly responsible for the calamity at NIC. The problems have led to a show cause sanction by the NWCCU threatening the college with disaccreditation. This disaster began when Greg was declared NIC board chairman back in December 5, 2022.
I rescind the vote of me as chair, and I will nominate the next most senior member of this board as the new chairman, Trustee Greg McKenzie.
What followed that month was a series of meetings, which included extreme antics, open meeting violations, backdoor deals, and suspending the college's president, NIC Swain.
I make a motion to place Dr. Swain on immediate administrative leave effective the conclusion of this meeting.
I'll just say the motion sounds like to place President Swain on administrative leave for a time allowing me and the board chair to investigate things that have arisen of concern that impede our accreditation success.
I am dismayed, and I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of hate and anger that certain trustees have for our community. I have never understood it, and I still don't understand it. And when I hear that, accreditation is something that you really hold dear, it doesn't appear that way, because everything that I have witnessed and now am party to, it appears that your sole purpose is to undermine the college and to bring it down. Accreditation is an issue, and the other candidates argued that it was not an issue all day long. They never acknowledged it.
This one month, December 2022, under the chairmanship of Greg McKenzie, perhaps more than any other time, led directly to the issues of board governance that is still haunting the college today. 2 years later, we have another election. The KCRCC is seeking once again to promote chaos at North Idaho College. McKenzie is the only incumbent, the only candidate directly responsible, and on September 26, 2024, he attended a candidate forum held at the Kroc Center here in Kootenai County, put on by the Regional Chambers of Commerce. Answers were timed 2 minutes. McKenzie kept his phone ready with the timer running, and true to form, he ensured that each of his rambling, incoherent answers occupied the full 2 minutes of time. I've edited the responses for time, though this video still runs longer than I want because I felt it's important to capture the essence of what he says.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here and thanks for paying attention. My name is Greg McKenzie. I am a current board member on the Board of Trustees at North Idaho College. This will be finishing up my 4th year on the board, and I'm speaking as an individual tonight, expressing personal opinions and not speaking on behalf of the board tonight. That's important to say. And I'm the only candidate running this season that is still on the board, and I hope to still stay and serve the community on the board. So that's why I initially stepped forward. Is I love North Idaho College, I love our community, and I had a wonderful experience in college. And my getting involved at the North Idaho College Board of Trustees has been a wonderful experience. Being able to ensure other people's experience in college time is wonderful too. And looking at where the North Idaho College is now to where it was 4 years ago, if you recall, there was 3 years of consecutive tax increases. They were closing multiple outreach centers, and 3 years of tax, and they were also closing programs. And now we're opening programs. Dr. Swain just opened the gunsmithing course, and if by all metrics, the college is doing outstanding. And I'm very proud of that, very proud of North Idaho College, and admittedly, yes, there have been changes, but I would say, look at the results of those changes.
Results like this. 4 years, since McKenzie was first elected and the KCRCC redded and vetted trustees were in the majority 4 years of this. Here's question 1 from the forum. Please describe your long-term vision for North Idaho College and how it increases the value of NIC to the residents and businesses of our region. Listen to just a snippet of Greg's rushed, chaotic response.
Yeah, that's incredible, incredibly important question. The only problem I have with that is a question of my vision. And as a trustee, we're a policy board, and we make sure that the college adheres to the policies that the board approves. And those policies are gone through the participatory governance process and has input from all stakeholders. So a trustee like myself, I can have a vision. Like, I totally support workforce training, CTE. I totally support the expansion of the prairie process. And I can vocally say that, and I normally have those conversations one-on-one with the president and support him in his vision and make sure he's hearing.
Yet in July 2022, Greg McKenzie offered this exchange at a public meeting.
First reading, revised faculty employment policy.
So am I clear, if I don't meet with the president, that I don't get my policy on? Is that what's going on here? Am I essentially being blackmailed?
Blackmail? It's a nice suggestion on my part. And it would be kind on your part to maybe follow through on it. Thank you.
So let me
Move on to
get,
the-
so let everyone be clear. I'm just going to find out, I'm going to wait a month and find out to see if my policy even gets on the agenda if I don't meet. I'm going to find out. I'm going to tell everyone right now, because you assholes are being assholes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I object to the language.
yeah, I object to that too. Dr.
No, you people are blackmailing me. You guys have no idea what's going on in my life.
Stop talking and listen to the rest of the group.
I'm listening to you. You're basically saying that unless I meet with the president, I don't get my policy on there.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
may I recommend a 2-minute recess so Trustee McKenzie can compose himself?
Here's question 2, which deals with accreditation. The NWCCU has outlined the necessary steps to return NIC to good standing. How do you intend to resolve the accrediting body's remaining concerns? If he had any sense of his place in this fiasco, McKenzie would resign. But no, he gave this response.
I encourage everyone on August 30th, the college, in collaboration with trustees, ACT consultants, and Dr. Swain and his administration, submitted a report to NWCCU, and I would just like to read the conclusion. Based on the evidence provided in this report, NIC has demonstrated that the Board of Trustees has made progress toward addressing board governance issues identified by the NWCCU.
It all sounds good, right? Sounds like the NWCCU is on board with the trustees, but it's not true. The statement he read, he wrote. It was part of the response given by the board to the NWCCU, though he makes it sound like the NWCCU is complimenting the board's tremendous progress made. Now listen to him ramble and avoid his personal actions that led to the show cause sanction.
And as a board member and approving policies that have been far outdated, if you look at Section 2 that the board is directly responsible for, there was a lot of policies that I want to say 20 years maybe that hadn't been touched, which, as I talked to some accreditation experts, is an accreditation finding in itself. So all the policies have been revamped and that we're have a policy and a schedule for in the policy on policies, and that I personally feel like I've worked very hard with my fellow Board of Trustees to exhibit good governance in our board meetings.
Question 3. Do you support using tax dollars to fund higher education in Idaho? Why or why not? This question is in response to the Idaho State GOP platform not supporting funding for higher education. As a candidate endorsed by the local GOP, McKenzie and his KCRCC cronies know how he really stands. Listen to him scramble and not really answer the question.
Yes. North Idaho College is providing immense support to the community. That's an easy one. Going to the legislature in January is always a fun time. And I think I'm in a position to connect with our legislatures and explain to them. I have the personal relationship with each of these legislatures. And to explain to them the good things that North Idaho College is doing for the community and how everyone's tax dollars, but how the legislature money, it's always a fight for money, how it's most well spent for North Idaho College. And we are being transparent too with what we're putting into the legislature. So last year it was kind of a bit of a surprise to the Board of Trustees, and our board governance process is immensely improved to where we knew what was going to the legislature well before it even hit there. And you had, again, stakeholder input and a conversation about it. So our board governance is improving in many, many different ways to get the whole college working as a team, to get the college and the employees the resources they need to get to success. So, and the Board of Trustees has always cared about getting the employees the resources they have. That's why I know that the employees got an 8% raise of last year. They got 3% raise this year. It's very important that the employees who are having directly with the students, that they're getting the resources that they need. And I'm very proud of what the employees are doing with those resources when given the opportunity to connect with students. We have now a nationally ranked soccer team that was just announced at the last board meeting. And when you give North Idaho College I think it was like some study by the chamber, I think there's the multiplier of that money and how it goes about the community is very efficiently done, and it's a good use of taxpayer dollars. Thank you.
Question 6. How do you, as a trustee, plan to strengthen the existing partnerships and foster new relationships between North Idaho College and local businesses to reinforce and create student pathways? Remember that both Banducci and McKenzie have moved over the years to cut or eliminate the college's funding of partnerships with Jobs Plus and the Chamber. They use the trustee meeting as a platform to attack the very Chamber of Commerce that put on this forum.
Okay, so you're telling me the Board of Trustees, you don't want a policy on nonprofit participations?
We could not find one example in any community college where that policy existed. Not one. Not one.
Okay, this is wrong.
No, it's not.
I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to ask what the Idaho code
No,
is.
I am tired of taxpayer money going to opaque nonprofits. Okay, I hear that. I'm also a taxpayer, and I'm tired of my taxpayer monies going to nonprofits, and they turn it around and use it for political gain. And I can name names.
Now watch McKenzie take a complete turn, ignoring the question to, Lord, I don't know what his point is here.
I think to those that know all 5 of the Board of Trustees, and I know some may know others more than others, but to those who know me, and I've spent a lot of time, as you know, with Banducci, and he's got assaulted at his workplace, physically assaulted, was thrown cleaning chemicals on him, big bucket, and his whole office was destroyed. And people know us, and basically each trustee is willing to advance ideas that are good for the community. And if you have a career pathway, if you have a need that each of the trustees up there are up there trying to strengthen existing relationships and help North Idaho College meet its goal of serving its community.
Remember, this guy's a scientist, someone who makes calculations and does tests. Question 8. The Board of Trustees has received multiple votes of no confidence from staff, faculty, and student government. How can the trustees rebuild a positive relationship with these constituent groups?
When I first got elected 4 years ago, there was multiple votes and no confidence, and some of them were on topics that basically people knew nothing about, and massive smears in the newspaper, and moving, it didn't help when you have a president essentially advancing a narrative that your Board of Trustees is trying to burn down your college. And so the president and the Board of Trustees are supposed to work together. And
first, he and Banducci placed President Swain on administrative leave. Then, and only after he did that, did the votes of no confidence come in. But he blames President Swain for it somehow. Seriously?
as my time as chair, there was I'm very proud to say that a board response was initially issued.
No, it was not. It took them months to even address the votes of no confidence. He either doesn't remember or he's making it all up on the spot. Obviously, he's uncomfortable, and he should be. Question 10. What steps would you take to address the most critical challenges NIC is facing today?
So what specific steps I'll do is I'll bring a willingness to work together and a promise not to do finger pointing and basically focus on my actions at each board meeting.
I'm going to go back to pointing fingers about who's the most wrong amongst us. Does not help. When NIC's accreditation is pulled, listen, when NIC's accreditation is pulled, nobody cares who's most at fault. We've already lost accreditation. The damage has been done. Okay?
It gets to retaining accreditation. That's the biggest threat to NIC right now. And I'm all supportive of it. The board passed something in a statement a statement in February of 2023. And then again, it's the number one, here I have the board priorities printed out. It's the number one board priorities is to retain accreditation. And that really gets down to alignment, whole alignment organization. That's president, that's the trustees, that's the staff, the students, and even the crowd. That's even been mentioned by some on-site visitors. And it gets back down to just general respect.
Respect?
To go back.
So
to executive
I'm going to
session.
move,
We're
follow
talking
the
about a
question.
contract.
You're welcome to try and overrule the chair. No, that is immediate, sir. I have warned and spent enough time with you. Okay, security, I did not want to do this. Please remove this gentleman and the next person who doesn't step away from the microphone.
That doesn't answer the question. Am I managing this or is the board managing this?
Sir, we're approving the budget, and I would expect you to carry out the board's will to support our student athletes at the full maximum the board is willing to support them for. Are you willing to do that? Because you said you were willing to do that if that's the board will on Monday. So I want to know if that's going to be any obstruction for coaches to get the scholarships they need for students. We care about the students. We want our athletic sports to succeed.
I am not objecting. I'm trying to get clarification.
And I'm giving it to you. Are the coaches going to be able to provide the scholarships they need for students and make the decisions?
So yes, but just understand that it's a potential $2.6 million hit
Yes.
on the budget.
And we're representing the taxpayers, and we're saying that this is the priority in the budget.
Here's McKenzie's closing statement.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for lasting through the end. As a trustee, it's been an honor to be your voice and to serve and advocate on behalf of taxpayers. As an elected official, I take my responsibility very seriously, and it's an oath that is not taken lightly. I'm a free-thinking, consistent elected official, and I feel like my track record speaks for that for itself during the COVID era. And I've always said to people when I've been on the campaign trail, look, I'm willing to raise your taxes if NIC needs it, but I'm going to ask the tough questions on behalf of taxpayers. So I feel like that's one part of the many good things I've done at the North Idaho College by having taxes consistent for 4 years for the levy, and yet still the college has the highest fiscal reserves and is outputting amazing metrics at the college. So I'm standing for those who are unable to speak out themselves, and it's been an honor to serve, and whether I win or lose, I've been very thrilled leaving NIC in a better place than when I was elected.
No accountability for himself, no responsibility for his actions. McKenzie played a major role in the entire accreditation fiasco. If you're unfamiliar with it all, now you know. Hopefully you'll know how to vote on November 5th. Let's save NIC. And that was politics and sports. So yes, I'm gonna and moving, it didn't help, and
there was, and, but